Hayden. Landon's 5. I watch over Landon, that he doesn't get hurt. His bones break easily. He broke his arm 3 times.
At 2, he broke his right elbow again, and then he broke his shoulder. He crushed his 3 right fingers.
He broke his thumb.
Just recently broke his foot.
He broke his jaw, and that's it.
He's a normal boy, and he loves to run and play, but he just gets hurt a lot easier than most kids. His bones had been repeatedly breaking, and we couldn't figure out why. After his 3rd broken bone, the doctors were questioning, how does this keep happening? And I didn't have an answer. I didn't know what was happening. I just knew that he kept getting hurt. When Landon was 3 and he broke his jaw, he fell out of a swing. It wasn't but a couple feet off the ground. It was soft ground underneath, and he fell, and it crushed his whole jaw. The doctor said that it would have taken a force such as a sucker punch or a car accident to shatter his jaw the way it did.
They decided that the injury was not consistent with just an accident, and that's when they decided to call Child Protective Services and get them involved.
When Department of Family Services came in to question us, that's when I knew that they were, removing him from my care. I was not allowed to be in the room with him unless someone else was in the room. It was very difficult. I would cry a lot, knowing that I couldn't just sit and hold my son. When you see your son with his whole head bandaged up and you can't pick him up and hold him and shut the door and just spend that time with him because, somebody has to be there watching you. That was really hard. And to have people questioning you, if you hurt him or if you're neglecting him, and it was very painful. The doctors, they were wondering, but they weren't really helping, and so I had to take it into my own hands and switch pediatricians in order to get a doctor to listen to what I was saying.
She wasn't going to let them accuse her of having her son be abused. She's strong, and it's quite a lot for a single parent to take on.
Switched pediatricians, and finally I was able to start getting some answers. I ended up getting a referral over to Chaudere, the genetics clinic, and they did some testing on Landon and found out finally what was wrong.
I first met Landon about a year ago when his pediatrician referred him for multiple fractures. The reason that he was referred to genetics is because he obtained these fractures with little to no trauma. So we decided to do testing for a condition called osteogenesis imperfecta to see if there are any gene mutations or a gene change that disrupts the reading code of the collagen protein. And this can affect multiple tissues throughout the body that have a high concentration of collagen, such as your bones, joints, eyes, even your hearing. The genetic testing takes approximately 4 to 6 weeks. During that time, it's very typical for parents to be very anxious and worried, just wondering what the results are. In this particular case, it was very important because Child Protective Services, they were involved, and it just created a lot of extra stress on the family. We got this test back, and it did indeed show a mutation in the COL1A2 gene. And not only does it have a clinical picture of osteogenesis imperfecta, but it also can have a clinical picture of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. These two conditions can commonly overlap just with the findings of fractures easily for little to no reason. Hypermobile joints are just really loose joints, as well as some hearing loss. Sometimes when they endure an injury, it won't heal up properly. Osteogenesis imperfecta occurs in about 1 in 200,000 individuals. His particular mutation has only been seen about 100 times, and his exact mutation has never been seen before.
When I first found out about Landon's diagnosis, I felt really sad. It took quite some time for me to come to terms with it. After I did a lot of research, and I was able to deal with it better.
When I first met Landon, he was a very excitable little kid. He was bouncing off the walls and very excited to be there. You would never known that he had at least 5 fractures at that point due to his osteogenesis imperfecta.
It's hard for him sometimes when he can't play certain things that his brother's doing, you know.
The diagnosis has not slowed him down at all. However, it's important for him to know the diagnosis so he can be more careful and, you know, tailor some of his activities to his diagnosis. However, throughout the whole process, he stayed very upbeat, certainly not let the syndrome get it down.
When I asked him this morning what he wanted to be when he grew up, he said a superhero. He's wanted to be a hockey player and a football player, and that's hard for me. I don't want to stop him from being a normal boy, but at the same time, you know, there's just some things he can't do. He'll never be able to do.
There's a lot of inspiration for me because it kind of shows that somebody with handicap or disability, that he's able to continue to do what he's doing, be a kid. And I hope that carries with him into his adulthood as well.
Landon just moves through life, and it doesn't matter what obstacles he has, whether he has a broken foot or a broken thumb, he just keeps going and has a good attitude about it and a smile on his face as he's doing it.
This year, Landon's a miracle child.
As Montana's 2013 Children's Miracle Network champion, Landon is a superhero for all the thousands of kids who have genetic conditions.
Landon will serve as a fantastic role model for children across the nation with genetic disorders. The kid's amazing.
He's tough as nails, I know that. There's not too many grown men that could withstand some of the hurts that he has and just get up and keep on going, you know.
I just want to say thank you to the team at Schroeder for all you have done for Landon and I, and my whole family. Thank you. We really appreciate you.